so blessed. You are so blessed. So let's accept that this morning. Let's accept that greater within ourselves than we've ever done that before, okay? You willing? Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, good. So I'm talking today about timeless wisdom. And we know, as religious scientists, that it's available to each and every one of us. We know that. We study that. And we know that that timeless wisdom surrounds us, yes?
Yes.
But before I get into that, I want to share what I learned in Denver this last week for the 4-day workshop with Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you've never been to a Dr. Joe Dispenza workshop, you don't know what you're missing. And the further along, this was an advanced group, the further along you get, the more he demands of you. We had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, get our sleeping bags, our pillows, our blankets, and be down at the event before 4 o'clock in the morning and set our pads out. And we meditated for 4 hours. And then after that, we went and had breakfast for an hour and a half and put our packs back. And then we had to come back and do more meditation. And we did that until, and then we got left at 6 o'clock. It was over. So we were free at 6 o'clock. But then at 10 o'clock, we had to set our alarms because he came on the TV. So it's not a vacation, but it is an enlightening experience. And the good news that I brought back to you is there is more for each and every one of us to discover about ourselves and about our sacred essence. And this is the gift I bring to you this morning. We are powerful creators. Now we hear that in our classes, but I want you to really know that. You are a powerful creator. And we each have choices. And I left the event believing more in myself than I ever thought possible. I can do this. I've been renewed in that knowledge that I am committed to being totally responsible for using the tools I have been given, not only by that event, but the tools that I have from Science of Mind to enhance my life. Are you?
Yes.
Yes.
Good, got a couple. My experience to understand that I have the power to change outcomes. Now, some of you really know that because you've been doing it. But I guess what I'm bringing back to you today is I want you to really know that. It's our thinking. It's our beliefs that are responded to by the very essence that surrounds us. We'll get to more of that. I realize nothing really changes until I change my energy. I'm going to say that again. Remember, these are gold nuggets, yes? Yes. Nothing really changes until I change my energy. Everybody breathe in that one. Nothing really changes until I change my beliefs. Breathe. Nothing changes until I change my belief. If I think that somebody's doing something, that's my belief. I'm going to enhance that. I'm not going to stop it. Does that make sense? If none of this makes sense, then you're going to want to join Reverend Suzanne and myself this afternoon, because we're going to teach you how to pray for yourself. Now, we talk about how to do prayer, how to do spiritual mind treatment. But I'm going to, Reverend Suzanne doesn't know this yet, but we're going to open up our afternoon to, if you have any questions about this talk, then you want to be there, right? Yes, okay, good. Because you might have questions. I still have some. Okay. We each have to take that responsibility for our energy. We have to take responsibility for our beliefs, our thinking, and understand we are creators. You don't like something that's taking place in your life, stop. And say, what would I like to have change in that? because we have the healing power for each of us to shift our lives, to shift events. And that's one of the things that I saw in this event with Dr. Joe, is that people got up and you go, oh, really? This one woman, she's a cancer researchist. She has gazillion degrees, and she does cancer research. And she got this very unusual form of cancer, and I love that. She has cancer research, she has cancer, so now she gets to research it in her own body, and she tried all kinds of things. She was put in a trial system, and then somebody told her about Dr. Joe. And she got up and she started talking, and she said, I do one of Joe's meditation, Dr. Joe's meditation, every day, morning and night. Within a month, she totally cured herself of cancer. I go, okay. It's consciousness. Because here she is, a very educated woman about cancer, so she knew what it looked like. She knew what it looked like in her body, and she knew that if she focused on the right way, the thing that she wanted out of her body, and how to do that was to bless her body, and that's what she did. There have been many stories about that. The healing power is available to each and every one of us to shift the events of our lives, because we realize that every thought we think has a frequency. That's one of the things Joe says all the time. What's your frequency? Where's your attention? This frequency informs our cells, our nervous system, so that our thinking either blocks our healing or opens the door to a healing. Everybody breathe. Opening each and every one of us to the mystical, sacred self of wholeness and harmony and unity in our personal life experiences. Now, if you've studied any part of the Bible, you know the story. I've talked about her before. The woman who was ill and bleeding and knew that if she could get to Jesus, if she could touch his robe, you see, that was her faith. Now, everything blocked her from doing that. In that day and time, women did not have any credibility. Jesus was surrounded by men. As a matter of fact, they pushed her aside. But she had the faith and belief that if she could get there and touch his robe, she would be healed. That's what all of this is really talking about, isn't it? If we have to have the faith that this is not only possible, but it is as we believe. And she moved through that crowd. All the challenges that were ahead for her, all the challenges that you think you have in your life, we have the power to change them. We are the one who can choose to open to possibilities. What are the possibilities that you would like to open to today? How would you like to think differently? What would it feel like? And in so doing, have new experiences. What are the new experiences that you would like to have? Now, I know a lot about each and every one of you in this room. And I know that you have changed your mind about certain things. And once you did, your life totally changed, yes?
Yes.
Okay, I can name names here. Including my own name. We each are creators who have the power to create new life experiences, new possibilities. And here's the technique. You've all seen this before, where you rub your hands together. Yeah, you rub your hands together. You get some power going. Come on, let's do it. We did this in Joe, and what he had us do was rub our hands together, and then take your hands and part them. Feel the energy that's there. Feel the energy coming from your heart. Feel that healing power. Feel it within you, because it is you. You don't have to be any cuter. You don't have to be any smarter. This pepper's there for you. Breathe into it. So what we did is, after one of the experientials we did, he had us go out and have a break. And then we were all to come in quietly, and there was a picture on our chairs, and we were to pick up the picture. And we were to, rub our hands together. And then from our heart, send healing to this picture. Not only did we do that, and we got back results from these people who had asked for healing, but since I've gotten home, when anybody crosses my mind that I maybe don't have love for, or maybe I'm annoyed at, anybody have that? Maybe it's just me. It's just me. So I'm here to tell you I'm working on healing. So I've been doing this. And then I bring that person to mind. But you see, I first have to be in my heart. I have to know that the power is mine, the joy is mine, the healing is in me, not about anybody else. Not only that, but when I left this, I realized I am committed to morning and evening doing one of the meditations. And then if I get a little sideways, I do another one in the middle of the day. Because I know what it feels like to feel good. And I know that when I feel good, my life starts to come into alignment. Anybody know that? So, a couple of people annoyed me as I came home. I know you can't believe that. They did. Now, I don't know if that makes any difference for them, but it makes a difference for me in my heart. Makes a difference in my body. That's what this is all about. See, it's up to each one of us to match it with the greater expression of our faith. We know that there is a power for good and we can use it. And hopefully, I have brought back tools for you because I know I have tools now. I've been studying this stuff for over 30 years, and about student of the Course in Miracles. You think I know this stuff by now. No, it's a process. I'm going to be studying this stuff until my last breath, I'm sure of it. Giving thanks in advance for that is going to take place in each and every one of our lives, and the lives of those that we are bringing to mind to be blessed and to be healed. Giving thanks in advance for the healing. We know this in Science of Mind. Remember, combination of information. What's going to work for you? What's going to support you in your life? Give thanks for the perfect outcome. I know that Devin and Tony did this. They all of a sudden said, we need a different place to live. We didn't have choice and support, but I know they would have gotten up. I've already checked with them. They're happier than happy can be. They said we need a better place to live. Bingo, bango, that place showed up. Devin can't go to the windows without going and saying, thank you, God, for the beautiful view. Didn't realize how oppressed they were in that old house. Thank you, God. Giving thanks in advance for the perfect outcome. Greater faith inspires and impresses the energy of healing, because remember, we live in a vibrational energy field. In creation, when we touch the frequency of the energy, our faith is what moves us past challenges. It isn't us fixing the challenge. It isn't us building the wall. It is us allowing ourselves to move past the challenge, to be raised up in that, to look up. Our bodies become healed. Timeless wisdom has always been ours. However, how are you going to use the timeless wisdom that you have? It's up to us to open the door. So I have a question for you this morning. I always have questions for you. Have you ever stopped to meditate on the aspects of your perfect self? Everybody breathe. Have you ever stopped to meditate on the aspects of your perfect self? You may not have a perfect self. Yes, you do. Did you know you have a perfect self? What do you do now? It's a powerful self. It is in you. Like I said, you don't have to be any cuter. You don't have to be any smarter. You don't have to be any younger. You got it. Tag, you're it. Now, when I say that perfect self, I have to go back also in my history. I go back into that aspect of being an abused child. That my perfect self moved me beyond that. My perfect self got me out of a very uncomfortable, disoriented marriage. My perfect self moved me out of that. Now, I'd like to say, oh yes, I did it with no difficulties. I was scared to death. Especially when here I was, a young single mother, all of a sudden deciding that I couldn't live anymore in that relationship and I had to get out. Now there were times when I couldn't even open the blinds of the room and I'd sit there in bed and I'd drink Pepsis and eat cheese puffs. Anybody? No, just me. Okay, that's my story. But the perfect self, my divine nature, the core of my being is what kept me going. And also the kids needing my attention. But do you see what I'm saying? I knew that there was something better. Think about an event or circumstance in your life where you were in a difficult situation and you knew there was something better for you. You knew there was something greater for you to experience and express. Yes? That's your perfect self. And that's the place of power. And then the times that I got fired. How dare they? I got fired. But it was a perfect right time because it was exactly what the call, everybody kept saying, when are you going to be a minister? I'm not going to do that. I'm not answering the phone. I got fired. Okay, God said, here it is. School of Ministry came to Santa Rosa. All right, I raised my hand. You see, there is a sacred, eternal essence at the core of each and every one of us, and it's up to us to tap into it. So these aspects of self that brought us through the difficulties, that strengthened us, that we found a strength within ourselves that we didn't know possible. Anybody get sick? I almost died of pneumonia years ago. I told you that story. I was told I had ovarian cancer. I told you that story. I knew as soon as the doctor said that, I had 6 seconds to decide that that wasn't true. No matter what she was saying, that wasn't true. That's a powerful part of myself. That's that self that is so perfect, that is so divine, that is that perfect self. You have all of those pieces. Yes, you thinking about that? Yes. You seeing that strong self? It's like, da, 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 da. Wasn't right away, but you worked into it. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So here's your team. Here's your team. Your perfect self. All these aspects of yourself. Here's your team. Now, what about the part of you that doesn't believe? That's what your team needs to help. This is what I kept seeing this week as I'm doing this work. I'm going, oh, did I get scared when I came back? Yes. Were things out of order? Yes. But then I realized, ta-da! I have this perfect team. So it's my job, it's your job, to call the perfect team into responsibility. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, join us. so that we can bring in the part of us that has no faith. Anybody? Or just me? Questions faith. Really? Is there really something out there that wants my best? Yes. But the team knows that, don't they? The aspects of you that brought you through. God only knows, you know. It's you. We came in with that divine essence of our own being. So it's the team that we want to call up when we have an unbelief. When we get a little gnarly. Let me get the team to work on this one. Put whatever it is in the middle of your hands. Because you're the one that can heal them. To allow the unbeliever within us to be healed. We all have it. You see, that's where whole, perfect, and complete comes in to the whole scenario of signs of mind, of faith. The unbelief within us has got to be placed in the circle of our magnificent self. No matter who you are, each of us has an unbelief. There are fears, there are doubts, there are worries in each one of us. Surrender with the good that is you. These are aspects of the self that just need our attention. It's nothing to be afraid of or to shun. Remember Henny Penny? I loved that story as a child. Henny Penny, Ducky Lucky, run for your life. The sky is falling. Something hit his head. I thought, even as a kid, I said, that's so stupid. How many times have you been hit on the head and thought the sky was falling? Not me, you cheated. Something in each one of us is so much greater than any fear. So it's up to you to feel it inside of you, feel it in your future. Calling you, encouraging you, knowing that you can succeed. Think back to that part of you, that part of me that stayed in bed, drank Pepsis, and ate cheese puffs. I'd about kill my kids if they drank my last Pepsi. Did you have a part like that? That was scared? Think back to that part, the you that is now you. This is the part that encourages you. It's okay, honey, you're going to get through this. This is the part that says you're going to grow up and you're going to be this and you're going to do that. Our future self. What is your future self saying to you? Yeah, we all feel fear. It just means that it's a part of us that needs to be joined in the circle of our divine, magnificent self. See, I believe we are all brought here with things about life, things that we wish to heal, and we say, okay, God, I want to come in and I'm going to be a part of this family. And you say, who would choose that? You know? But we make these choices that we choose to heal. We can't push that healing down. We have to allow it to come up, but we first have to do the work. We have to get ourselves in alignment. And our wisdom circle of ourself needs to listen to our unbelief self, needs to listen to our fearful self. And in all things, give thanks and express gratitude for all of it. Because, I was challenged this last week being in Denver. I was really challenged. And everything that took place for me, I had to say, okay, what is this asking of me? What is this asking of me? And I got clarity, and I got wisdom. Feeling and expressing gratitude lifts our consciousness. Okay, thank you, God, for this. Now what do I do with it? You see? Louise Hay said, no person, no place, no thing has power over us. When we create peace, harmony, and balance in our minds and in our hearts, we will find it in our lives. In all things, give thanks. express gratitude for it all. Then this morning something came to me. If it cramps your heart, you have work to do. I like that one. If it cramps your heart, you have work to do. Are you willing to do the work?
Yes.
I guarantee you there's more yet to be discovered about you, about life, and we're doing it together. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, let's just take this into prayer. How good it is. How good it is to come together and to know that there is only one power, one presence, one all-loving, all-nurturing essence. I call this God, the infinite, the divine, the beloved, by whatever name. There is only one life, and that life is perfect, and that life is my life now. And what I know that is true for me, I absolutely know is true for you, that the life that you're living is absolutely perfect. It is in divine order. It is in harmony. It is in greater sense of peace and healing and wholeness. Yes? Yes. I claim this to be so. I recognize it. I accept it. I allow the fullness and the richness of God to be expressed in my life, and I know it's being expressed in your life because I get to witness your beautiful lives being lifted up, changed, refreshed, and renewed. This is what I know. I know that there's a powerful healing taking place in each and every body, in every cell, every muscle, every fiber. And we bring to mind anyone in our life that is desiring to be healed, that is desiring to be whole. See them perfect. See the perfection that is at the very center heart of their being, just as you see the perfection is at the center heart of you. This is what I know. And so much more yet to discover. Open, receptive, and available. We give thanks in advance for all the good that is coming into our life. We give thanks in advance for this community growing and expanding in a greater way than we have ever seen before. That every seat is filled with joy-filled, open-hearted, divine creations of pure spirit. I claim this. I accept this. I know this is the truth. And together, if you will join me in saying, and so it is, amen.